Hello and welcome back to WDL Radio. It is a very exciting week. We just got through on Map 6. We had two very exciting games and we had one other game. So we've got three games to talk about. I am joined today by Tony.
What up? You know me, third player from the Superchargers, baby. We're back.
The third player from the Superchargers for the 12th year running. And Alt Stab, who's taking a sip of his drink. Insert pause here.
Grab him by the pussy.
Alright, well, I thought we could jump right into Map 6. It was kind of a chaotic Sunday, like Black Sunday, I think it was named. You know, a couple teams couldn't get their entire squad to show up, but I think we kind of salvaged it a little bit. Map 6, like I said last week, Map 6 is that like huge teamwork map. We weren't sure how everyone was going to set up, but I think there weren't too many surprises, you know? Like, to me, we didn't really get a chance to see like CDC or SDM at their full strength because neither team had their full team there. So, I can't really say it was a great game, but SDM managed to grab Pero out of free agency and pull together a win. So I don't know if anybody saw anything great out of that game. I liked the teamwork with Team Stark and Caution.
Yeah.
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 Good teamwork.
No, it was great.
That's what being smart's all about.
Yes, I agree.
No, I mean, it's tough, you know, to, I don't know, immediately, I guess, my first reaction to that entire game is like it's tough to throw a lot of praise on either team.
True.
You know, like here's what I mean. Like, I feel like, like Stark, you know, and SDM, like, or this is mostly on Stark, and he's a friend of the show. But I'm sorry, man. Like, he showed up half an hour late.
Not my friend.
And didn't make sure that all his teammates could fucking be there. So there was a lot of like, I mean, most people thought that it was not going to happen. And to be honest, like, they were lucky that Pero was around. Because I know he was not in the loop earlier in the week on those plans either. And then the funniest shit of all was that because we all thought CDC was there and just kind of waiting, you know? And they were like, oh, man, where the fuck are these guys, you know? But they were kind of like, you know, the dudes that showed up for, like, the test unprepared, you know? And then there's, like, talk about how, like, it might get pushed back. And then, like, it doesn't. And then they're just like, oh, shit. Because there was, like, a moment where, like, SDM showed up. And then all of a sudden Rude was like, yeah, I don't know where FSN is. And I don't have Dastin. And it was like, and all of a sudden they're in the spotlight. And thank God AWUP, you know, was, like, right there in TeamSpeak. And he stepped up. And he even had plans and shit that night. I remember hearing him talk about it. And he stepped in. This is kind of like the week of the free agents stepping up.
The first debuts for a lot of players this week.
Yeah, and just in general, like, you know, fourths or free agents, you know, getting a chance, stepping up, you know, doing what you got to do. As far as the game, you know, AWUP was making his debut. Pero is at least an experienced veteran player, you know, so I think there was a definite built-in advantage there. And CDC is a little less fraggy, I think, than SDM. And I think maybe that played against them a little bit. But Rude played exceptionally well. I would say that stood out to me. Like, he almost single-handedly got them a point, which would have kept them in contention in the final week. Unfortunately, I think they are eliminated right now. But Yeah, they're out. But yeah, Pero played really good.
Statistically, Pero was probably the best person on their team on paper. I'm looking at him right now. 140 kill death, 27% cap rate. I mean, granted, they were playing
Jesus.
against someone who's never played a WDL game before, but he played pretty well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that had to do with the way that Stark, like, played his team positionally. I thought CDC should have put AWUP in a different position than they did, because I think for your first game where you haven't really practiced, to give you the responsibility of having to defend, I thought was a lot. I think they probably would have had a better chance if maybe like Rude defended and Dranzer played mid and AWUP just went and got the flag. But still, for his first game, he was doing pretty good. His shot is really good. I think he's just not used to like the way that people run on that map, so he didn't really know
Yeah, the
where to
speed
defend. Or,
of the WDL game is different than anything that you've probably experienced before if you've never played in one of them, or the IDL or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little. I remember when I played my first game, and I was just kind of like, like I'd practiced with all these guys, but like a real game, everyone's intensity level goes up to 10. It's just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah,
So
you're
that
not
might have
in
been.
CD pub anymore.
Yeah. I imagine that was tough to deal with, and all props to him.
Yeah, it's at the bottom line is it's awesome that these guys are actually available to jump into games at the last minute. So it shows the importance of free agency.
Right. We try to tell people. Okay, so we have this conversation on radio every year, every single year we do, and we usually do it at the beginning of the year after the draft when we talk about who's left over, who didn't get picked, and we always say stick around. You're gonna make a club, either by being picked up for a random game or as a fourth or even more. And look what happened. Week 4. It had already happened before that with a lot of swapping around going on. But I think at this point, basically every free agent. Maybe Von Doom I don't think has gotten in yet, but so just to reiterate what we always say to those people out there that think that that don't sign up because they think they won't get a chance. I get that, and it sucks that we can only get 6 teams, and we'd like to get more teams and more players involved. So sign up frickin' early, please. But even if we do end up with 6 players, look what just happened this week. And if you stick around and help teams practice throughout the 5-week season, you're gonna be ready to go when the time comes and your name gets called. And that's what happened. And Perondone and AWUP, and even in the other game, Hex, Sexy Hexy, all 3 of them put in, they stepped up, all 3 of them. So, there you go. I'm just going to say that again.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I thought really the best, the only game of the week that had all members from each team on there was Suck versus GPS. And I didn't really get a chance to practice with GPS at all. But we played I don't know, it was 500 games against Suck. And trying to defend, it was a lot, yeah. Trying to defend against Ralph and Tony, it was for the first 8 minutes of the game, I can shut them down, and then they moved into this fucking thing where Ralph would come from the back, Tony would lower the gate or the lift, and vice versa, and it was just this basically fucking 1-2 fuck you thing that was happening, and I couldn't stop it. It was really, really well coordinated, and I thought that actually played out in the game itself. I know you were having some issues, Stab, in the first game, so you dropped, but your team pulled it together in round 2, took round 2 from Suck, and then round 3 was kind of a free-for-all almost, but I thought it was a really enjoyable game. Ralph had some amazing runs, and just the teamwork between Ralph and Tony I thought was really awesome, so that was my favorite game of the week.
That was my favorite game of the week, too.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Suck is back, baby. sticking around to the Master Ball.
All right. That's all you gotta say about that. All right.
What
Yeah,
else
well,
needs to
it
be
was.
said about
Oh,
it?
go ahead.
What else
All
needs to
right,
be said?
well-
We're back.
It was my favorite game of the week, I guess, just because. Oh, who am I kidding? It was not my favorite game of the week. It was terrible. Not by my team. I'm very proud of everybody on my team, and especially when they came back after the disaster that was round one and won a game with like amazing communication by figuring shit out what you guys were doing. They, you know, they figured out on the fly, you know, what you were doing with the lift and shit. Unfortunately, like we hadn't had any practice time this week. Just didn't work out. 2 of us at a time, maybe, but none of us were ever on, like as a team. We were never on as a team practicing. And so that's a really big bummer for me. In addition to, you know, having to like sideline myself because my mouse seized up. It's one of those deals where it was like happening in Windows, you know, not just Botomex. Like, I'm sure you guys have probably fucking had this before. It's like the worst bug ever, where your mouse just freezes up, you know, for like a second and a half to 3 seconds at a time, seemingly at random intervals, and it ends up being a really hard to diagnose problem. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I do have my laptop as a backup. But obviously, at the time,
different USB port.
Fuck you.
I'm being serious. It might be.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I tried a different mouse port, different mouse. Anyway, so halfway through, or maybe it was longer. I don't know. I was like, this is dumb. I'm gonna lose, you know, if I keep on carrying on. So I just exited out, and I have rebooted too. So I was completely blank. You know, I just was hoping to God that when I came back, it wasn't over. But Denzoa, man, you know, I got to give him all the credit in the world because he had been practicing, you know, with us the little time that we did get before the game. And then when Wazop showed up, Wazop played like 1 or 2 games, and they went much better, you know, with him and Jay Warrior and I. And I told Denzoa that I was going to start him on the bench. And, you know, he was upset, but like any good player, you would expect that, right? You would hope that your guy ain't happy about getting benched, you know? But he kind of freaked out about it. A little. He didn't freak out, but he was pissed. But he stuck around, even though I think it was like fucking like 4 a.m. in Belgium or some shit. You know, like, and I think he had school the goddamn morning. Anyway, thank God he was there because he saved us a point by winning that second round, which was just awesome. I came back in the middle of it. They figured out that pincer kind of shit that you guys were doing, dropping the lift with like crazy timing. Obviously, you know, we weren't able to stop it the whole time, but that second round, man, I thought that I was really proud of them. And I don't know. I guess that's the one silver lining that I can take away, you know, from the game. And
you know, I do want to say, Denzo is definitely one of the more underrated players in this league.
Yeah,
he's a really good player. I don't really view him as a fourth at all, even though that's where he kind of fits in. But no, he's a great player.
He's not a fourth at all. I feel like, you know, maybe after this season he should be picked as a third. Like, I picked him up as my fourth because I thought it was silly that he was sitting out there.
right.
Like, and then, you know, it just so happened to work out that Denzoa and Jay Warrior play really well together, and that was the case in this game because, like I was saying, trying to stop Ralph and Tony from getting any flags is really difficult. And so I was watching Was Up, and he was kind of struggling a little bit, but Jay Warrior and Denzoa bailed him out like a ton of times, you know, during the game. So I thought, yeah, you can definitely take that away from this game, that they they do work really well together. And I mean that was the case in the game that you played against SXP. That they had really good synergy. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Denzoa destroyed it in that map on that map in that week, and you know, right. That's why I traded Legion for him, even though Legion is an established third, because Denzoa, I believe, is absolutely a third in every
yeah,
sense of the word. He definitely there's no season in which he could not elevate one out of the 6 teams by being their third, in my opinion.
I mean he outfragged all of us in that game in week 2,
Yeah.
like fucking
Right,
European,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we kind of look at our teams the same way. We like to have established fourths that are almost basically thirds because you never know what map is going to work well for certain players or what's going to happen during a game. So, like, I think that rang true in my game. It was TDT versus SXP. Having Legion around because we couldn't make the schedule work for Dragon, so we knew from like Thursday on that we weren't going to play with Dragon. So, and I think we were getting pummeled quite a bit in practice and so TDT had to use Hex as their third in the game, and like Hex is no fucking scrub. I said that the other night. Like he is an established third when he gives a shit and he's able to put time towards practicing. He's a ridiculous player. I've played with him before. You play with him,
Yep.
and so I thought like that was probably the best option for TDT. Like in terms of even almost better than maybe some of the players they have on their team. But so the way that they set it up was like Hex defended, and I don't care who you put like behind Dev and DS. Like as long as they have half a brain and half a shot, they're gonna do really well. So like Dev and DS were running together. DS would almost like go through the tunnel, and Dev would come through main. And it was like for me, I did pretty well defending against that in round 1. Because I think Hex was still trying to get himself like accustomed to playing the map, and so we were able to get more flags out. In round 2, it was a completely different story. Like I got burned on our first flag real bad within like the first 60 seconds, I think, and then we just ended up going down 3-1 in the second round. And my biggest thing was like we had 2 minutes left or something, 3 or 2 minutes left, and my biggest thing was to just tie it up. So. Once again, I switched to something that we had never practiced. I didn't even have a plan. I just said, okay, someone else needs to defend. Who wants to do this? And, pretty good preparation. And Tor was like, oh, I wanted Tor to defend, so I was glad that he actually stepped in. I thought the only way to combat like Dev and DS totally like pushing us into our base, basically, was to have me move to mid and maybe take out one of them instead of having 2 guys in. And I thought that worked really well for us. We were able to tie it round 2, and then round 3 was kind of like back and forth, and we kind of escaped with that one. But I thought it was a really good game overall. Like, even though they were using someone that wasn't on their team necessarily, they had this great strategy, and they all worked really well together. So I thought it ended up being a really enjoyable game for everyone to watch and play.
It was the most enjoyable game, probably. Well, I mean, our game probably wasn't that enjoyable because of rounds 1 and 3, right? And that game was, I thought it was very competitive, all 3 rounds, even the last one. Maybe that one got away a little bit, but like, man, round 2 was fucking intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, like all of us in, TeamSpeak. Well, most of us. We're kind of rooting for the underdogs. No offense to you, but like points wise, it would have helped a lot of us. If you guys had ended up, losing, and so we were all getting kind of hyped up, especially because of Hex.
We were all rooting for Hex back there.
Yeah.
His first game of the season, he played a wonderful defense.
He did, and like in round 1, he started off a little slow, we were kind of like he made like a mistake with rockets where like he was like trying to rocket D and got burned by Ralph for a cap, early, and it's like, this is a guy coming off of doing his college homework, I think 20 minutes before. So like, yeah, obviously like forgiveness, is a given, like for something like that. But like once he got sweat worked up, like round 2, he had like 196% KD ratio. Like my God, he was a fucking monster.
Statistically, he just got better after each round.
Yeah, and it was only like with like less than a minute left, I think, that you guys tied the game, right?
Yeah.
It was like
because it was very short period of time after that we switched positions. I have to give credit to Thor because he did not practice in defending at all. So I think he played similarly to Hex. Like he grabbed the rockets and defended with rockets. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're effective as long as you use them in tandem and at the right times, with the shotgun. But I think that, like, also, you would have to say that, like, TDT did the right thing. And I wasn't sure about this at first, but they did the right thing in putting him on D.
They did, because the Demon Slayer looked like he was playing more mid, and he would be the one to fall back to help him.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a position that if if you have experience on that map, which Hex obviously does, you can remember how to D there, and you can just kind of, as long as you're on TeamSpeak to make callouts, and your mid is on the same page as you are, you can. It's the most. Ralph, I think, said this. He said it's the most manageable, position on that map.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely a mid fucking like the you want to put your best player at mid on that map, and I don't think anybody would fucking disagree with that. Am I right?
No, well, you're right. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I am the best player, but I thought it worked better when I went to mid.
You're gonna wait till afterward.
I have no problem telling anybody if I think better than them. So, but no, I just I felt we worked better when I got in mid only because I felt I have more frag power than Tor does, and so if I could stop one of those guys like DS or Dev from getting into the base, then that's better for us because they were both getting in when I was defending, and it just you can only hold that down for so long before they burn you and get out of there. So
yeah, you need your frag power at mid, like because no matter, like you said, no matter who you have there on D, flags are gonna leak. There's too many ways in, too many ways out. It's just inevitable. You could kill the D there, and they might spawn at mid. What are you gonna do then? Well,
right.
You better have a good fucking mid.
Mm-hmm. I can't even tell you how many flags we got out to mid and died there because we just didn't have the frag power and the backup for it.
Yeah, you had the Terminator there waiting for
important. The Terminator J-War?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, it was funny because, like, before we started practicing, Denzoa wanted to do mid, I think. Somebody wanted to do mid.
Everyone wants to do mid. Everyone just wants to sit there and frag the shit out of people. Nobody wants responsibility.
Right. Nobody wants to D there, is what you mean. Because you can get a lot of flags, too. But nobody wants to D because, right, basically you're just going to be the scapegoat. You're going to be the one getting shit on. But, yeah, Denzo, I think, wanted to play mid. And Devastation was in the TeamSpeak, and he was like, excuse me? And he was like, yeah, J-Warrior needs to be at mid, because, J-Warrior with a shotgun at the mid, is going to frag the shit out of everything, and yeah, duh. And
I would J-Warrior at any other position. Like, is there anyone that's better at playing mid, really, in this league? I don't know.
Oh, it sucks. Mid
Not on my team.
Than,
Not on my team.
Mid. I'm just saying.
What? Well,
If we had, I don't know, man. Listen,
Shit talk is real.
I can't really say anything, but like what I want to say, I'm just gonna fucking say it. Like if we had a full week of practice, like if we had any real practice, and my fucking mouse didn't fuck out like it did, I don't know. It would have been a good game.
Yeah, well, there's always next season.
What I want to say.
Well,
to,
I'm looking
Stab.
forward. I'm looking forward to the Hindenburg coming down once again. That's all I gotta say.
What I want to say to Alt
It's
Stab
fully
is,
inflated at this point, and there's really only one outcome.
do you remember after practice a couple days ago when Ralph posted this GIF? I don't even know what it was, but you were like, "Oh, it looks like SXP trying to stop Suck." Well, when you disconnected, I was like, "Oh, I guess Stab shouldn't have talked shit about a fucking practice. His team just got shit on, motherfucker."
What? No.
Yeah, but you weren't there for that. You were like rebooting your machine or something. I don't know.
No.
You
I
probably
don't
couldn't
know
click on it. 'Cause it was-
You don't remember? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Well,
that.
anyway.
What did you say?
I said you probably couldn't click on it because your mouse is broke.
No, I mean, what did you say, Bones? What was it?
I don't know. Whatever.
I remember earlier in
You
the
talked
week.
some shit about our practice. I was like,
No. You're dead wrong. I know exactly what happened, and it was nobody was actually practicing. It was early in the fucking morning. We were at work, dumbass.
right.
And
you were talking about our practice the night before.
no, Ralphus was ripping the shit out of me or something. Like Ralphus was ripping on me, and he said something, and I just said like, "Oh, I think you're thinking about SXP in practice last night because you guys got ripped up in practice."
Right.
And
So
and
you talked some shit.
I
about
talked
our
a little bit of shit about a goddamn practice game, and then you come
then-
out, and this is exactly what you said. You said, "Oh, all Stab talking shit. Get back to me when you consistently make the playoffs, bitch." And it was
You're
like,
right.
what the fuck? Fucking angry ass Bones out of nowhere. Like, my God. Like,
No,
here I am just
I-
responding. I'm just responding to some, unwarranted criticism from Suck, which is not unexpected, I guess. But, and then I
I see
inadvertently
everything,
get fucking.
motherfucker. I
Oh
see
my
everything.
God. And you know what? The reason that I didn't say anything back? What's there to say back? I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I can't say shit to that.
I'm just fucking with you anyway. But
He's not.
so map.
No, I mean, but you know what? I will say this, man. I am motherfucking determined, and I will win one year. It might be this year, so watch out. You better bring your stuff, is all I'm saying.
Well,
TDT,
you
better
better
bring
bring-
your stuff.
Yo, you better bring J-War and Denzoa, or else you ain't winning.
We all better make the fucking.
What are you
play.
saying about Waza, bitch? What are you
I
trying
mean,
to say?
You could bring him too. I mean, you guys played better without you. Because you won one.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
true.
I was having mouse
That's
issues,
fucking
motherfuckers.
point.
You motherfuckers. Alright.
Well, anyway, map 6. I thought, despite all the crazy Black Sunday horse shit, it was a very enjoyable. It made for some very enjoyable games. And of
You know
course,
Let me
What?
interject. I just
go
want to
ahead,
say
interject.
I have the heart of a champion. And
You have the record of a loser.
actually my record is very, very similar. In fact, it's almost identical if you look at my all-time record as a captain to basically everybody except for Water. And that's factual. If you look
Well,
at
what's factual is I have the most regular season round wins, I think.
you've also, if you add an IDL, got by far the most losses in a championship. And I'm just all I was gonna say is that
Well,
every champion was a contender at some point that refused to give up. So props to you, man.
what
I'm just saying
is
that's
give up.
me too.
I'm saying give up. Give up.
Yo, you should like
Listen,
quit.
if you
If I
wanna-
was you,
if you
I
wanna
would
win some-
take 2 weeks off and quit.
You want to win
motherfucker.
some smart CTF, you better go back to school.
Exactly.
All right, let's fucking move on.
So, week 5, back to map 22, which is something that we played in season 2. It didn't really work out for my team or Stab's team from memory. But map 22 is all about the fucking sphere. Everyone camps around that thing, but I think it's also deceiving because a team can get the sphere and two guys can rush in, and but that leaves their team like vulnerable for flag touches. So I think it is very deceiving in that way. But the sphere is very important because there's so many places for like a runner to hide in that map, like without even having.
Shit.
Oh shit! What?
My computer's gonna restart at 9:51.
Well, 14
Well,
minutes to get my point out, and I can't
yeah.
remember what it was.
You
So,
said
yeah.
there's a lot of places for runners to
Well,
hide.
there are a lot of places to hide, so theoretically, someone could get the sphere and then just fucking go up the lift, or they could go up the top, or they could come back. I've seen people go back in and go through the tunnel and sneak in that way. I don't know how viable that is in like a quick game, but
Yeah, I don't know.
it's tough to defend against a sphere, even one-on-one. But this map, it's even it's like easier than most maps to get two guys into the base on attack. So, your defender is kind of left trying to kill two people, and I think that's where this map really stands out from other maps because you're going to have one team that's really good at getting that sphere, and one team that's going to be constantly fighting to protect their flag. So, I've always enjoyed this map. I can't say that I've always been good at it, but I think it's a good map. I mean, there's never going to be a game here that's like not exciting because that whole middle thing, it's so small that so much stupid shit happens in the middle, like flag drops, flag pickups, training the flag. So that's my thought on 22.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you said stupid shit. I'll agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily call it entertaining. I mean, I remember only bad things, from week 2, but that's because I lost and got knocked out of the playoffs, and I can't believe that you're bringing it back in week 5 again too. Like, my God, what a nightmare! But I don't think those games are that exciting either. Like, I think that it's a map where as soon as it's real predictable who's going to win pretty early on. Usually, it's kind of like there's a bully team, and that's about. There's nothing fancy going on. The lift that goes in the back takes way too long. You said there's a lot of hiding that goes on.
You can hear.
There's
the
not going to be a lot of hiding. It's going to be too fast paced. It can be. It's going to be way too fast paced.
Most of the rounds that I've seen on this map, people grab the sphere and go right out mid. Grab the flag,
exactly.
Go right out mid. There's not too much hiding.
And I will say that there's definitely a lot of there's strategy to it in that I think if you try to play it straight up with mid O D and no special kind of attention to communication on like offense, I think that you're not going to score much, and you're probably going to lose. I think that what you're going to want to do is coordinate attacks, because a lone runner into the base is pretty vulnerable, I think, unless he's coming in with armor and sphere. But you're definitely going to want to,
Yeah, you
have
gotta send
Owen-
two people, have someone like distract.
yeah, you're going to want to have
Slide
Owen
down
mid
and grab it.
like talking.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot of that in these games this week.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a good game that I'm actually really looking forward to. Probably the game that I'm looking forward to the most is GPS versus TDT.
God.
Yeah, I know you hate the map, but it's like a perfect matchup because you've got. I'm not sure who TDT is going to have as their third, but
Right? It could be anybody.
But just think about the matchup of like either DS or Dev versus like J Warrior in the middle. That to me is so fucking exciting because J Warrior is pretty perfect when it comes to timing spheres, knowing when to push, and then you've got, like I've been saying all season, the fucking two best shots in Doom playing together. So I think they're going to have a similar strategy to last week, because I know I didn't hear Ralph say that D on 6 was like the most manageable position, but I kind of feel like that's also the case here.
Well, you wouldn't have, because he was talking about, a hex before your game, but yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of like thinking about that now. I feel like that's a similar case on 22, because like a defender here, you can actually hide as a defender here, and someone will come in, and you'll at least, whether they have the sphere or not, you'll at least get a good shot on them. So I feel like as long as you have a good shot and decent movement, you can make a play on anyone touching your flag. So I think that they're going to put their two power players out in the middle again. Another
reason that I hate this goddamn map is I'm more of an offensive player, and as a runner, it's a nightmare. It's a terrible map for a runner. A perfect map for a runner. Just imagine the perfect sort of setup for Ralphus, right? Is he comes rolling into base on one defender, and it's not like a wide open thing. He probably has some sort of cover to come out from, and then has a split second to make a nice shot. This is not that map. This is, you come into the base from either straight on or top. Either way, you've probably been spotted, or you could go the lift route, but like you're definitely spotted, if not heard.
Yeah, that like takes a long time.
It takes a long time, and you could, I guess, also go under, but they're going to hear you too. Anyway, by the time you get in, the defender, like you said, is usually set up like behind a pillar or something. My memories of this map are just like flying into and grabbing the flag and getting shot from like nowhere.
One of the problems with that, with the map itself, is when you grab the flag, it's so predictable as to where you can go just because of how it's laid out.
Right.
So it's just easy to predict where you're going to go and take a pop shot at you.
You're going to go one of two places. You're going to go straight out mid, or you're going to go up top.
And no, I mean like right after you grab the flag, 'cause it's so confined.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
agreed.
All right, go on.
Sorry, I was just agreeing with you.
No, thanks. I'm usually
right
about things.
You're right. I mean, because I've even during practice today, I was getting in with the sphere, and I thought I was being sneaky. So I'd get a shot off. Sometimes I would kill the defender. Sometimes I would just damage him, and I'd get a shot off on him. I'd grab the flag, and like when you grab the flag, you're in this fucking corner. Like there's nowhere for you to go. You can't run through the flag. You have to stop and then fucking turn around. So usually the defender has a good angle on you. So really from there, it's like either you're gonna juke him or you're just gonna burn him. You can try and fight him. I don't think it's
that exciting of a map, because like once a burn occurs, it's occurred. It has happened, and it's just anticlimactic at that point. You might get like a shotgun or a chain gun, like snipe, but you ain't recovering that flag. It's gonna get trained. I don't know.
See, but I don't know. Like you can burn somebody, sure. You can, but they spawn, like the spawns are so damn close to the to the middle that someone's gonna be able to just chase you whether you go up top or not.
There's one spawn up top where like if a guy just started his burn, that you could like jump to mid and make the shot, but usually there's teammates at that point turned and like lasered on anybody coming that way, and they're just gonna blast you. I don't know. I don't think it's an exciting map. I think it's a bad map.
I wouldn't call it bad.
Shit map. Shit play. No, okay.
Are you talking about your team?
Shit play. Shit map. Oh wow! Look at Tony. All happy.
I like the other guys on your team.
Yeah, that ain't gonna last.
He's learning well that this is how we do WDL radio. It's never pleasant behind the scenes, or on air. But as far as GPS and TDT, like I said, I think it's going to be an interesting and exciting kind of matchup between like whoever they put out in mid versus J Warrior. I have a feeling it's going to be Dev versus J Warrior. They seem like those two guys seem very, like for lack of a better word, like anal about like spheres and timing and all of that stuff. So to me, that map is all about timing the sphere. Like,
I agree.
so that'll be an interesting matchup. As far as a prediction, uh, I have to go with.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
I don't care. Like I'm not sitting here wondering how you're going to react to my prediction. I'm just trying to come up with one.
I was just joking. Jeez.
Well, I'm not. I'm going to have to go with.
Oh.
I got to go with TDT. I mean, they're in first place. They've got the frag power. They've shown that they are capable of putting up a fight even when their team doesn't fucking show up. Like they came this close to actually winning a game. So I'm gonna have to go with TDT, and I'm gonna go with them in 2 because I just think it's gonna be.
Dang, he didn't give you 3 games.
No, I think it's just gonna be overpowering.
Well,
So.
I think that if you guys practice enough and you coordinate your offense well, you can win. But if both of you put in the same amount of practice, TDT's probably going to take it in 3 games.
Well, he can't.
I don't know
you.
I can't. Like, I agree. It's going to be tough. On paper, it fucking sucks. What happened with my mouse and shit in last week sucks. We are now in a position to be knocked out with a really good team. It's depressing. I have to admit, because I've really grown to like this team, and I think that we have great potential. But you guys are right. We definitely did not get a good draw on week 5. Not at all. So we'll see what happens. I definitely know that we have a chance. So it's just we'll see how it goes. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's just put it that way. And if we lose and still get a point, we still have a shot too, because Suck, SDM, and GPS are all tied with 8 points. Now we go into the next game, Suck versus SDM.
SDM. Speaking of being cautious, we've got caution on SDM. Yeah, you kind of like interjected there and fucked up my little. Suck versus SDM. The big question, I think, has to be: will SDM? Actually, a couple questions.
Will Stark show up?
Yeah, right.
I've got a list here. Will Stark show up? Number 2, will Stark collect the correct availabilities that allows his team to show up to the game? Number 3, will SDM practice? If all of these things happen, then I think a bit of a rude awakening. And I only say that because of the what I said about the last game, which was the way the map is. Frag power can be very overbearing here, but at the same time, then you've got the same sort of synergy that Ralph and Tony had last week, where one of them can grab the sphere and they can work together to kind of distract the defender. It's just for me, it's going to come down to how much can SDM practice, and does their team or is their team capable of putting together this game plan that can stop that kind of an offense? I can't say that any of they've got caution. So caution, as I've always said, is one of the top runners in the league. So he's going to be battling for that sphere, probably with Ralph and Tony. Is anyone else going to be battling for it? I don't know. So it's just going to come down to practice. I can't really say that. Jesus, you're typing loud.
No,
your PC is okay. So
yeah, my computer is about to restart in T-minus probably about half a minute. So thanks, Windows 10.
Alt-Stab went to the bathroom and Tony's PC is restarting. So
Rick went to use his big urinal.
Yeah, he's gonna poop with his shirt off.
Can we talk about how that's not right?
Thank you, Ken.
I mean,
Can you
it's.
give your opinion on that? Because I feel like I made that pretty
I
clear.
mean, if I'm drunk, maybe I'll poop with my shirt off.
I mean,
But
if
I
I'm
mean,
drunk, anything could happen. But
yeah, if I just gotta take a shit, I'm not taking my shirt off for that.
no, the process of shitting is already like work. Like, why would I take my shirt off? Like,
Yeah, you already gotta take your pants off. Why would you take
yeah.
off other things?
You guys
And
talking about pooping?
oh, he's back. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Tony's computer is about to restart. Apparently,
Okay. Yes, we've already discussed this.
should we move on to Player of the Week and start with
We
Tony?
still have 2 games. Just
Oh shit, we do. Yeah. All right.
I haven't even. So as far as the prediction goes for Suck versus SDM, this is a fucking mess. I'm gonna go actually with like a straight up tie. I think they're gonna tie this week.
I gotta say that like if Zen, if Stark gives his avails at all, and they don't just forfeit outright, and if Stark talks to his players before he gives those avails and actually schedules a game with his 3 starters, with all 3 starters, and if they practice a little bit as a team together, I think they're going to be a handful. And I agree with you that it's an extremely fraggy map. I think much more than people give it credit for. So if those 3 things happen, I think that STM will win outright. That's a lot of ifs. Stark hasn't exactly showed us that he's the most reliable captain so far, and I don't expect. I guess I'm not. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't lay my money down on it. So I'm gonna have to take Suck. I'm not sure 1 or 2 or 3, but whatever. Suck's gonna win.
You know what? I mean, I can't say that wouldn't surprise me. It's just for me, it's too hard of a game to call just because of all the circumstances. I mean, I don't know what's. Yeah, it just really is. So I'm just gonna play it safe and go with a tie because I can legitimately see that happening too. I can see. Fucking mosquito? Is that what that was?
Yeah, God damn it! I thought I had him this time. Hey, motherfucker.
Well, we lost Tony, who is playing in the Suck game, so we won't get the player's perspective.
Classic Windows.
Yo, Suck is back, baby.
What?
Suck is back again.
What?
Did you move to a different fucking room?
No, I got on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
What up, dude?
Yo,
right.
So what's the verdict on pooping? We're not taking our shirts off, right?
No, we're not.
We are 3 shirt poopers, and Dev is a fucking creep.
What about when you're done pooping? Do you guys stand up to wipe, or you just reach your hand down there?
Oh, I'm a stand-up guy.
Yes,
I'm a stand-up kind of guy.
Yes, you do not want to get your hands too close to that.
No,
like you can't.
Okay,
sit down and reach your hand down there.
Crazy. That's so crazy that you just brought that up because I was sitting in the stall today, pooping, and I was just like, on my phone, doing phone things, and the guy next to me was just shitting up a storm, and I saw the placement of his shoes out of the corner of my eye, and I know for a fact he wasn't standing up when he wiped. And I'm like, God, that must be that must be like a desert storm under there, and he's just like reaching, and oh my God, and then he's going back to work like that. My God, lift your butt off the seat, grab a ample amount of toilet paper, and make sure you fucking get that shit clean.
I agree.
And keep your fucking shirt on.
You should write a book.
Savage.
You should write a book. But
the art of pooping.
Right. Some sort of like maybe a children's book, but like it just makes more sense, like gravity wise, to stand up. Like it
right?
just
yeah.
and all the angles and
Gravity.
Women.
If you do yoga, I don't know. Anyway,
women wipe. I think
women don't poop. That's why
the vagina after a pee, sitting down. But who the fuck else just sits down and wipes? I don't.
I think there's
fucking
people who do
weirdos.
that. I think there's a lot of people who do that.
I always like to say, I can't trust people who don't stand up when they wipe after they shit. Right?
I wouldn't be shaking your hand.
What about
I
squatting?
mean, I wouldn't be shaking your hand
We
after you
talk about
shit,
that.
whether you stood up to wipe or not. What?
That's
what?
fair enough.
Are you guys squatters or do you sit?
They
Oh,
make
fuck it, I
toilet.
sit.
They make toilet seats. You know, it's for
Okay.
sitting. It's for sitting.
And they make
I agree.
toilet tables for eating while you're shitting.
TV trays.
Yeah. A nice little laptop table to watch
Yeah.
some YouTube while you're pooping.
Yeah, I mean, I usually do like most of my online banking from the toilet. So.
This is the thing, right? Like, there's you'll see like an article on the fucking internet when you're just like, clicking on clickbait when you have literally nothing else to do at work or something.
And 20 minutes later, you're like, "Holy fuck! What happened to my day?"
Right, right, and you're like, "Awesome, I got paid for that." No, not really.
They have an
It's
app.
really-
They have an app that
Yeah, the poop timer.
you can track how much money you make while you shit at work.
Nice, but like,
Yes.
no, I'm saying that like you'll be clicking away, and you'll click on an article that's like, in your lifetime, you will spend this many days just pooping, and it's like, okay, so if that's the case, and it is the case, am I gonna live my life in fear of the toilet seat? Am I gonna fucking squat every fucking time I take a shit? Or am I gonna be a goddamn man and just sit in the fucking toilet seat? I am not living in terror of the toilet seat for the rest of my life. I refuse to, and I will sit in that goddamn seat. I might wipe it before I sit down, especially if they have
Well, that's smart.
the antibacterial. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. But I ain't fucking squatting for nobody.
I don't live in fear.
America!
I don't live in fear of the toilet seat. I live in fear of the shit.
Yeah, what about that movie? There's a movie where the snakes are in the toilet. They come up.
Six
What-
million?
No, what movie was that? You gotta check you gotta check.
Some anime shit where they like go up the butt and then you're supposed to like think it's hot.
What?
No,
I don't know.
No, that's not it at all.
no.
We're
I'm
losing
pretty sure it was a popular
viewers.
movie.
Right after you said that, like 2 viewers are gone now. By the way, they went from
We
8 to
had
6.
we had viewers.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my god!
Hey,
Wow.
poop talk is important.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world.
Well, anyway,
I don't know where we were.
we have one game left to talk about. It's CDC versus SXP. I can't really talk much about this game, other than I happen to enjoy this map when my team plays well, which I feel like we will. CDC, if they can get FSN to show up, it's gonna be a game. So
Yeah.
it really comes down to that. Can they get FSN to show up?
Rude
I
and
agree.
FSN were on paper on this map. It's a hell of a duo. So I really do think it comes down to if he shows up as well.
And I will also actually I'll disagree. I'll go back on what I just said because I'm not afraid to. I think that even if FSN shows
so
up,
brave.
right? I think that Dranzer has played like a boss all season. Rude has had some amazing moments and games, and FSN has wowed us all. But this map sucks fucking shit. It's ass. It's horrible. And a team as beautiful as FSN, Rude, and Dranzer, they can do things that wow us all and make us redefine what Doom CTF is. Just like on map 8 and random rocket jumps that we just didn't expect, stuff like that. They're completely muted on a map like this, and it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible map, and I don't think they have a chance, even if they show up with all of their
Wrong.
full strength starting unit. So
Wrong.
I think SXP takes it in 2. Lies.
Wrong.
I'm sorry. I think it's a
You know.
shit map. I think it's an absolute terrible map. Very
Uh,
old. It's an old school map, I guess.
It is. It is an old school map. I mean, it's fun. For me, it's fun to come out and play some of these newer maps, but then still circle around and see how
The
strategies change. Circle around the drain, see how strategies change when it comes to the older maps. So
Fair enough.
fair enough. Can't please everybody with the map list.
Obviously, I'm going over the top. It's I'm sure I'll end up.
Yeah, you're being
looking at it.
quite dramatic right now.
I know.
So I think that kind of sums up week 5, map 22. So as far as player of the week for Smart CTF goes, anybody have a choice?
Who
Because
was the
I've got
smartest of
mine.
them all?
Who was
Well,
the smartest of them all?
I got mine.
Go for it.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead, and I don't need to look at stats. I really don't. But I'm
Wrong.
going to.
Wrong.
But not before I name my player of the week. It's
It
Hex.
never happened.
It's Sexy Hexy, and it's not even close in my
That's
opinion.
false.
Well, listen, baby. All right, this guy was doing shitty
China.
ass, some shitty ass college homework assignment that was due in like 2 or 3 hours, and then Dev or Demon Sphere is like, oh my god, help! He hadn't played probably in a CTF match, all week, or maybe he had, but not much. You know what I'm saying? And he certainly didn't expect to be put in.
Can
He
someone
didn't have-
fact check this
He
guy?
didn't have any plan, going in, and he played fucking brilliant CTF. He played brilliant Doom, and you can't deny that. And if I go to the stats, they're just going to back me up. I mean, it was an overall KD ratio of 175.6%. Amazing. Just thrust into the limelight. And totally, and he got a point for TDT too. That's nothing to, just snuff it. I mean, they get a point because they brought it to 3 rounds. Even though they didn't win one, they tied one. So that could end up being a big deal as far as seeding goes. I don't know. I don't think you can really argue that, in my opinion. But I'd like to hear what you guys think.
Well, despite what you just said, I think that Hex is also the player of the week.
Yeah, baby.
He really exceeded everyone's expectations. No one expected him to have a 175 KD ratio across. Was that what it was across 3 rounds?
175 point. Yeah.
I mean, for someone coming off of free agency, that's extremely good. And for someone playing against a team like Devastation and Demon Slayer, it's just he exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
would agree.
Unprecedented too, by the way.
Yeah.
We've had free agents come in many times before. I don't think anybody's ever come in and played that well.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I can think of a time that happened either.
Me either. And he's definitely my pick also. Like, playing against him, like we talked about round 1, he started off a little rough, but playing against him, it was interesting to see. He had kind of a different approach to defending than anyone that we had practiced against. He was really good with the rockets.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do. So it was definitely a challenge to get out, and like you said, the stats totally back him up. Like, he had better stats than anybody else in the game. So
he even had
pretty great.
a PCAP, which I,
I did not know that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hex too. And I don't know if you wanna. Talk a little bit about potential maybe playoff seeding or home fields. I don't know if you want to delve into that, because we probably still have like 10 minutes left before it becomes unbearable for our viewers. CDC I think is eliminated at this point.
Yeah, they're eliminated.
So they pick their home field first. The only thing they can do at this point is cock block. So I'm not sure what Rude is thinking about.
Yeah, who does Rude hate the most?
I don't know.
A good question.
Yeah, the question with them, I think, is: are they going to play spoiler? Are they going to embrace that, or are they going to be depressed? And is the fact that they is the knockout, is it going to make it so that when they show up, they're not much of a much of a challenge for whoever they play. Suck actually is who they play. So I guess the question is, are they gonna be able to pull themselves up and play for pride, or is the hangover of getting knocked out gonna reach
Does
over into this week?
EDC plays SXP, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what?
Yo, this is why
what I
is
said.
why you couldn't handle smart CTF. You're blowing it, dude.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with my mouse issues. Fuck that.
I love
Also,
you, Rick.
I mean, we can like jump into Suck, because Suck has a similar team, the same exact team that they had 2 seasons ago, and their home field was 32. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But also they've
No.
excelled. They've excelled at lots of maps this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a map 6 pick, maybe like a map.
Definitely would not be surprised with the map 6.
Yeah.
I think that might be where they want to go. If I was them, I would go that route, I think.
Well, they should definitely go for a map where they can utilize the Ralph and Tony combo, where one of them distracts or one of them, lowers a lift or something, and the other one grabs the flag. So they've got I think there are a couple maps where that can really work to their advantage here.
Well, I wish I knew the map number, but I think it was map 5 last year, this season. Does anybody remember that one?
Was that the one with the super shotgun and like the staircase that leads to the flag?
Yeah,
so, like
right.
the nukage on the outside of the
Nukage on the outside.
Yeah.
Nukage on the outside with a blue in the middle on a pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. You
guys did
more or less
really
had
good.
the same synergy on that map as we did on map 6.
Maybe that was week 4, but you guys beat us in a critical. You ended up missing the playoffs, anyways, didn't you?
We did.
Did you? Did you
Yeah.
make the playoffs?
No, we didn't because
that
yeah.
map ended up being a playoff map also.
But that was but in a down year for Suck, it was like the one map that you guys really kicked ass on.
That
was the party season for Suck.
You know why?
Yes.
Because Tony pushed up into their base and camped their SSG.
Yeah.
That's what he did really well.
Then when Ralph would run by, everyone would funnel out right there.
Yeah.
Right, you guys beat TDT, right? Wasn't it Demon Sphere's team with Deng Deng and?
No, that was we played TDT because that was the.
Oh, that was the rocket.
The rocket
wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, that would be one. That I don't know. That just popped into my head, but that or 6 or 32, obviously, yeah, something like that. They're not gonna want to do a goddamn whatever fucking.
We have to play
this week's
32.
map
We're
is.
probably gonna blow my brains out.
Well,
Really? You're not a fan?
No,
Suck has
wasn't a
historically
fan last year, a couple years ago either.
Suck has historically picked 32 all the time. So
With Bones though, is usually when you guys played the best there. So without you, I don't know if Blair is as good as you are there. I don't know if Blair loves 32.
I mean, we played like SXP played Suck on 32.
Yeah, we played on 32.
It wasn't easy, they're pretty. They still won a round against us, so I think it just fits their play style. But as far as GPS, you're gonna want to pick a map similar to I think like map 6 or something with the sphere where you guys can really control, the week 2 map where J Warrior did a great job. You all did a great job on that one. Really controlling the tempo in the middle.
The megasphere in the middle.
Yeah, on the bridge.
Yeah, I think they would be good at that too.
Yeah, just something where J Warrior can use his his ability to to time his pushes and also time the sphere, and then there's a ton of those kind of maps too.
I don't think map 6 is gonna be something that we're gonna go for.
Well, I mean, it's like a mid-centric map, I guess I should have said.
I got you though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about us, so I'll just let you guys. Obviously, I know what I'm gonna do, and I've actually already submitted my list. I don't know about you.
No, I'm waiting for them to just pick.
What?
Because I'm waiting for like.
Oh, well, he
are we
said
gonna like?
he's.
Are we all submitting a list? Because I.
Yeah,
I
Ralph
was-
said that we're doing things differently this year. He said everybody just submit us, ranked lists.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that for sure then.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think it's similar for like SDM and TDT. Like they just got to pick a frag heavy map where they can push the other team in.
Well, if I was
so-
SDM, I would fucking pick map 8.
Oh yeah.
I would
Yeah,
absolutely pick map 8 if I was
Option
SDM.
is a fucking monster there.
Oh my god! I mean, I had like a doomgasm watching that
dude,
dude's
I forgot
replays
that
on
is
map
straight up
8.
yeah.
Fucking boner just thinking about him running. Jeez.
Dude, watching his
I've got one
replays.
right now.
Oh my god, he's so sexy. The way that he, is patient and precise and like makes the right moves at the right time. The way he times the lift. Oh my god. And then he's got the two teammates to, to allow him, the space and time to do what he needs to do. So it's really, I think that would be a perfect setup for them. And then I was going to say with TDT, the world is their oyster. Like there's so many bullshit, fraggy shit maps that they could pick from. But I would say maybe week 2, right, where they excelled in that.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe.
What about week 3?
Week 3?
16?
Absolutely.
Because they were so
destroyed in that.
fraggy, it was insanely hard to take mid from them in the sphere.
I'll
I
tell
think
you-
that would be a good choice for them as well.
I'll tell you this: as good as GPS did on 16, I think that I would hate to face TDT there. We did well against them in practice somehow, but I don't think in an actual game I would want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
not at
wasn't
all.
fun.
I
And as
wouldn't feel like I had an advantage. You know what I'm saying?
As someone who picked 17 or 16 rather last year, playing TDT like after seeing them play now, I don't want to play them on that map. I feel like we would, it would not go well for us. As far as my team goes, I know what we're gonna do as well. I just got to put together that list, I guess. So
I know nobody's gonna pick my map, but if they do, fuck you.
right. I mean, my biggest
you.
thing for the last couple seasons has been use the entire WAD to your advantage, and that's all I'm gonna say.
I agree.
So it's not a map in the this season list.
Ah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
so
Yeah, so I mean, I really think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good playoffs. I mean, the format. I still love this format where each team gets a home field pick. I think it's only fair that way. So,
yes.
and the teams are
love
so.
it.
Yeah, the teams are so close this season.
it's insane how close everyone is. We got 3
I
teams
said-
at 8 points, and the others are 3 points at most away. It's crazy. This is the closest season we've ever had.
I said this to Bones before that we started this. I'm gonna read it off again. This is from top to bottom. All right. I think it's more impressive without the points. Even with the points, it's impressive. But like, listen to these records. If you just go like by the wins and losses. All right, we got 2-1-1, 2-2, 2-1-1, 2-2, 2-2, and then 0-2-2. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like-
because there's like sometimes there's a team that like with SXP by week 4 they were 4-0, but then there was a team that was like 3-1, and it was kind of like almost like a gradual sort of thing.
There's two
Whereas
teams.
this-
There's
Yeah,
2 teams that are slightly above 500. There are 3 teams that are tied at 500, and there is 1 team that's 0-2 with 2 ties. That is, still much better than an 0-2 team. Like those ties are significant. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean this is the most important like week 5 we've ever had because the results of this like anybody could go from 1st to 5th. It's just anything could happen. So Like, I hope everyone takes it seriously because it's going to determine everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that during the games, there are going to be a lot of raised heartbeats, and we're going to find out,
Hypertension.
And a lot of raised
Yeah,
arms.
we're gonna find out, who's who, and
What separates men from boys?
yeah,
What
shit like that.
separates stuff from yes.
Yeah, I mean, look,
What did
this
you
would
say?
be... What did you say, Tony?
I said, what separates suck from GPS?
Oh, fuck you! You're never coming on the goddamn radio again, you son of a bitch. Oh my god, this fucking guy.
This would
Thanks
be...
for all of your great analysis about how Suck is back and Suck is great, by the way. It's
Yeah,
been,
the world's
it's been a
gotta
real
know.
pleasure.
Well, it was really relevant, especially
I'm glad
during
to
the
be
other
here.
team's games, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. Yeah.
But I would just have to say this is not the time for anyone to celebrate. There is no celebration happening now.
Don't sell
Still have one more week to go. So, yeah,
So don't be gargantually retarded on this map.
right.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
I'm going to ask Rot King to name my first child because I feel like he comes up with the greatest fucking names.
Is this Rocking's map?
Yeah,
Oh, fuck you, Matt.
it wasn't very nice.
No,
That was actually really mean.
this is live, like on television.
Yeah.
He's probably watching, dude. That's.
Hey, did you miss that, Matt? Fuck you.
I don't think we can have you on radio anymore.
Yeah, I think you've been bumped.
Such
You're just a recurring character now.
Along with Zen and
Yeah, well,
yeah. Fuck you, Zen.
anyway, so this
All right,
is
quit it.
WDL
Quit it
Radio.
before I burn all of our bridges.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Stab.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
And join us next week, probably next Monday, for the results of Week 5. We're going to find out who gets knocked out of the playoffs. We're going to actually find out...
Who killed themselves? So I might not be there.
Well, we do not promote suicide or anything related to... So, yeah, you always
I can't believe you
manage...
said that, dude.
You always manage to ruin everything.
Grab him by the pussy.
It's like friggin' cancer. Everyone's having a good time, and you come along.
Can we get the fuck out of here?
So the big things that we're going to find out seeds 1 through 5, and then we're going to find out who really poops without their shirt on. So see you next Monday.
Whoa.